Hey, welcome back everyone. So this is the second part of the series which we're working on, the function app. So in the last video we saw how we had deployed the function app and the related storage account onto Azure using the ARM templates. Now let me just show you the function app and storage. Yeah, so we had deployed the function app and the storage account, right? So now what we'll do is firstly we'll create, I have already created a test build pipeline which we will be monitoring via this function app here. This is the name of our function app. And so what this function app will do is the storage account which we had created. So there is a container with the name demo. We have created a container with the name demo cont, and whenever there is a change in this particular in this folder, if there is any change in this text file, okay, the pipeline should be automatically triggered. So this some time back I had done some testing, and as you can see, these have been manually, these have been triggered. So this first time, these are the two triggers where I had manually done it, but these two have been done when there was a change in this text file, okay, and that is done by the function app. So before I show you how I deployed it, let me just show you the main files here. So first is as you can see, this is in Python. So the logic is pretty simple here. What I have done is I have created this creds file where I have given the personal access token for this particular organization. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell you how I have done that as well. So we would need the organization URL. This is my org URL. Okay, so if you can see here, sorry. Yeah, so this is the organization URL which we have to provide, and then the project name in which we have our pipeline, and then finally we have to give a token which has the full access on this particular project, or even at a org level. At the end of the day, what we are trying to do is we are passing on the credentials so that this particular function app, or at the overall can trigger the pipeline. Okay, so here creation of a token is pretty simple. So on the top of once you log into your ADO, okay, select the org which you are working on, and then when you click on this symbol, okay, user settings, you have this option of personal access token. So I've already created, but I'll just show you the steps how you have to do it. Pretty simple. So this is the function app token which I had created yesterday. So I'll just show you the steps. It's pretty simple. You just give a name, okay, whatever user friendly name, anything which you think you can identify with. So as you can see, there are other tokens as well. Okay, so different person who is working on this org, they have created. So then you specify the organization at which this particular token will be valid for. So here we have, either you can select the current org which you have selected, or any organizations. Okay, but here I have selected my org. Okay, VRK Devops. And yes, you can give the expiry date for this. So by default it's set to 30 days, but then you have options of 60 days, 90 days, or even custom defined. Okay, so for the purpose of this demo, I just kept it to 30 days. But be very mindful when you're using this token. So once you deploy the function app and you leave it, after 30 days, as you can see, in my case, I have given a full access and I have left the expiration to 30 days. So after 30 days, this token will no longer be valid. So either I have to come here and regenerate the token, or I have to be mindful of that. That's what I'm trying to convey. So whatever, based on your organization, whatever you guys follow, based on that you can select a 30 day, 60 day, 90 day period. Okay, any of it, or you can even custom define. So so let me just show you again. So yeah, so you give so I have given a full access, or what you can do is there are some security requirements in different projects. So You can just, maybe in this case, you can just give a build. So artifacts definition, okay, so build, release, you have different level of access which you can give. So either you can just, read and execute, and release also read and execute. So what it will do is, it will give the access for the build and release pipelines, not for the other, like, source code and all this. But for the purpose of this demo, I've given a full access. And then once you give a proper name, like, demo token, so I'll create it, and then I'll delete it. So once you create it, what happens is, it will show you the token here. So you have to immediately copy it. So make sure you copy the above token now. We don't store it, and will not be able to see it. Yeah. So that's the thing. You have to copy it and keep it somewhere in your notepad or anywhere possible, and then you close it off. And that particular token is what I have provided here. This is the token. Ideally, as this is just a demo project, and everything is there is nothing project related, I'm just keeping the token visible here. But otherwise, it's not recommended to keep it like this. But then for the sake of this demo, I've kept it. One more thing you can do is, here you can access it from the key vault. Okay, so that's another way. So yeah, so this CRED file is just, you give the token, you give the org URL and the project name. That's the CRED file. And there is our functions app, which is this file is generated when you create the create function. I'll show you that part as well. So here there is not much. Now I'll just show you the logic which I have used. So what I have done is, I have basically passed this personal access token, okay, and the creds file, the credentials. I have created an object with credentials where I'm passing these values, okay, and then I've given the org URL here, and I've defined a I've tried to get a pipeline underscore client, the object name with this name. So what this does is, in this particular organization, using the access token, it will get, so connection dot clients, and it get the pipeline. So what it does is, this at the end of the day, this create pipeline client, this function, what it returns is a pipeline client. So it will get a list of all the pipelines, okay, present in this. So let me just delete this first. Okay, I'll just show it later. So yeah, so in this case, in my project deploy using ARM, these are the all the pipelines present. These are the 2 pipelines present. So it will just, every time when you run it, it will create a list of the pipelines. And then what it does is, I have created another function here, build underscore pipeline, and these are the parameters I'm passing. I'm passing the pipeline ID, pipe ID, run params, and the pipe version. This is set to none. So pipeline ID, what this is, so every pipeline in ADO, like if I just click here, see, if you can just clearly see the URL here, build definition equal to 1. So the ID, pipe ID for this particular pipeline with this name is 1. Okay, and here, if I click here, you can see the build definition is 2 for this. So every pipeline in your organization, in your project, if you see all the pipelines, each pipeline will have a unique build build definition ID, which is also called the pipeline ID, which you can when you click, so this is our function test app, right? So I'll just click here, and you can just see build definition equal to 2. So our pipe ID for the pipeline which we want to be automatically triggered is 2. So that is what I have hard coded here. Okay, because this function which is here, this function app, the main function of the motive of this function app is that it has to monitor the storage account. Okay, and whenever there is a change in that particular container, I want exactly this particular pipeline to get triggered every time. It's not that's my requirement. So that's the reason, whatever is the ID here, I have hard coded it here. So this, you can see the number 2, right? So that is our pipe ID. So I'm calling this function, where is this function? Yeah, build underscore pipeline, and pipe ID, that is 2. Okay, that's what I'm passing. And yeah, so the second parameter which is required is run params, run underscore params. Here I've given just the branch R tag, the branch which is the source for this pipeline. Okay, and what I have done is I'm just trying to kick off the pipeline. That's all. Okay, so, and yeah, also I have just added some login info as well. That is just for my for troubleshooting. So overall, this is the logic which I have used. It's nothing, nothing very much difficult or anything. Just that if you start working with Python, you'll get more knowledge. I'm not that very I'm not that experienced in Python, but using Google and using some friends' help, we have able to do this. But overall, that the logic is pretty simple. You have to generate a token, pass the credentials here, and call this particular function, build pipeline. So it builds the particular pipeline which you want to. Okay, so pipeline runs successfully. These are just logging info, logging.info. Okay, so this is our init file, and this is our cred file. These are the main. Okay, so that's our. And one more thing, let me just show you here in the function. Yeah, so if you can see here we have mentioned something called as a connection. Okay, so the connection name here is whatever the storage account name underscore storage. This is just something which I have it's a friendly name which I have given. So what this means is it is the connection to this particular blob which it want to trigger. So what you have to do is, once you deploy the function app and the storage account, you go to the settings option here, and under the configuration tab, under application settings, you have to by default there will be this particular Azure Web Job Storage. Okay, this is the, if you see, this is the connection string to the storage account linked to this function app. Okay, but apart from, I mean, this is, you can just give this as well there. So here instead of you giving this, okay, you can just give this name as well. Okay, but for the sake of for me to show, there are this is another way which I generally follow, where I give a specific storage connection. Okay, so if I show you this, these two values will be the same. This is something I have added, okay, with this name. So how do you add? So you just get the connection string from the storage account. So if I go to the storage account, you go to access keys and then show keys, and here this is the connection string. Okay, so you copy it from here and you create a new application string. You just give a friendly name and you give the value here, and then you click OK, and then finally you click save. So this is the connection, the string which we have mentioned here. Okay, the name of that. So that will be the connection which it will be looking for. So our files are ready. Now how I had deployed is, so yes, so let me just give you that part as well. So in your VS Code, you have this option called extensions, right? So these are, like, if you can see, these are the installed in I have installed these. So you can get an Azure account. Okay, so what it does is, from the marketplace it installs. So it's a very useful, where you can link your account. Okay, apart from that, Azure Functions is something which you want to get installed. So just type here functions, Azure Functions, you'll be able to find it. Yeah, so you'll find it. In my case, it's already installed. Okay, so once you whatever is required, in this case, just get an Azure account and Azure Functions. This would be enough for this tutorial. So once you do that, you'll be able to see all the related tabs here. Okay, under Azure section. So here under functions, you can see these are my subscriptions. Okay, so what I will do is, okay, what I had previously done is, so you have this option called deploy to function app. Okay, so it'll show you the subscription. So here I am in a pay as you go subscription, so I'll select that. Then it will show the select the function app in Azure. Okay, so either you can create a new function app, or you can use the select existing. So I'm going to select the existing one. So I'm not going to, I have already deployed. So as you can see here, I'll show you. So you can just select deploy, and all the files which I was just showing, it will deploy. But for this case, I'll just show you what I had just done some time back before I started this video. So we can again do it, so it will just override it. So let me just do it. Yeah, deploy. So parallelly, what you can just check it here. So this is our function app, right? So you go to the functions. Yeah, you see. So you see here, blob trigger 1, right? This is our the name of the function. So you can see that is being deployed here. So under code and test, you can find your files. So it's still going on. See, deploying to function app. So copying files to destination directory, you are seeing the real-time values here. So finally, once it is done, you will get a so deployment to this particular function app is completed. Okay, so it is done. So now it is done, right? The only thing is you have to make sure is once it is deployed, you have to make sure the proper connection string, okay, which it will be looking for, that exists, right? So it should be present here. Okay, whatever in the code, whatever name you have given, that should be present here. And another thing which I found very useful, I want to just bring it to notice here, is when you select the function and you go to this option code and test, okay, you can see your files, like you have, this is the init file which we were just seeing, right? That's the file, and you can see the other files, the threads. This is just a way where you can check it out. One more thing here is, so this is, I found it pretty helpful. So what this just, it just shows the flow, how it is following. So so the trigger here is a blob storage trigger. So a function app, you can have different triggers. You can have a HTTP trigger or a blob storage trigger in our case, or different other triggers. So here our trigger is a blob storage. So when you click on this, it will show you the settings, what you have done. So the binding type, Azure Blob Storage, right? So this is the trigger type. And the blob parameter name. So if you just see here, the name used to identify this trigger in your code. So in your code, what is the name you have given to show that particular blob? So that's, I have used this name as my blob. Okay, and the path. So in the files which I was showing, this is the path within your storage account. Okay, that the trigger will monitor. So democont is my container name, and in the container, if there is any text file and there is any change, that I wanted to monitor. And what is the connection name? So the I showed you, right? What this is the name of the connection which I have given. So this is the trigger. Okay, so that's about the trigger. And the function, it just shows, it will just take me to the function, whatever the files are present. Okay, so now the fun part, let me just show you how automatically the pipeline will trigger. So before I show you, I'll just show you. So this is our pipeline, right? So just see the name, function app test pipeline, right? So right now, if I just see, it had been run 30 minutes ago, was the latest run, right? So I'll just keep this tab here, just so that it's more clearer for us. I'll just take it out, and we'll just do a side-by-side comparison. So what I'll do is, so this is my storage account, and this is our container, right, which we have given there. So this is my text file. So I just open it. So we have the edit option. So what I'll do, so the current time is 1:11 a.m. Okay, and I'm going to save this. So it's saved, right? So you can just see here. I'll just refresh it. See, automatically this function app test pipeline is running. Yeah, so you can see it is manually, it'll show manually triggered, okay, but actually this is triggered by the function app. I'll just cancel this and just show it again to you. Okay, so let's go back. Yeah, so it was run some time back, right? So now again I'll make a change here. So edit. Okay, so you can see it's not running right now. Okay, I'll just refresh it here. It's not. Okay, now I'll click save. It's saved. It just takes like few seconds for it to pick it up. Yeah, you can see the pipeline again started. So that's how it's done. It's pretty simple. Azure has made it pretty simple for us to automate things. In this perspective, function app for that matter is not that difficult. Like initially when I had to start working, the Python part was a bit tricky for me, but despite of that, okay, using the VS Code, this particular option which I mentioned, right, deploy to function app, it's a pretty it's very easy to work with. And also you can enable logs, so I'll just show you. So initially I had, when I was trying to do this project, this particular demo, I had this internal server error. Status code 500 was the error which I faced. So for that I had enabled the application inside, and I just saw some logs, and I was able to figure out what it was, some error in my code itself. So that was again handy for me. So yeah, that is all about function app and how we do it. And also in this demo I was able to give you some knowledge about the the ADO, like personal access token. That's again one more thing which is new. So yeah, overall that's our demo, okay, all in all. And if there are any doubts or anything, you can just post in the comments below. And we do provide trainings to individuals who are interested in this cloud domain, okay, Azure and Devops and even other cloud platforms as well. So feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, thanks for your time. Goodbye, take care.